Hey folks, welcome back to the city. In today's update, it's certainly more vehicle focused. Last time I had finished off the water here and I'd added a new modular. This week I wanted to get the harbour area basically in a finished looking state. I'm not doing an update on costs and parts this time, so it's still a total of £2,440 and my brick count is 46,736. So one of the main things that I've added this week is 2 new boats in this jetty area and some minifigures. But I didn't like the boats facing this way, so in the end I actually had to remove all the tiles again and turn it around. Hopefully you can see at the bottom right, I used angle plates around the hull so the boats actually sit in them. So it was a bit of work to rebuild all this again, but it does look better. This was originally a diving yacht set from a few years ago, and I love the moulded hulls that LEGO use. I'm definitely a fan. I know lots of folks build their own brick built hulls, but I'm pretty content with this. It's a cool set, but I wanted to make this more of a pleasure yacht. Here she is. So not a huge change, but I've fully tiled the studded areas with white and light blue and taken the dark blue and red pieces off. The interior is where I had most fun because I love adding details. I'll try and get this up to the camera in focus. Oh, and I think this is Ellie from Jurassic Park, but in my mock, she's the mum of the family. There's some light blue seating, a table with a mobile phone and a cocktail, some additional seating, and I tiled everything with light tan. Oh, and she's got a can of juice next to her as well. I kept the same design on top, just a few minor adjustments like a little radar dish. I used the same stickered piece but put it down here. And the front is where I did the most work. Tiling it all, I used lots of the quarter curved tiles. The boys did point out to me that it does look a wee bit like an ice cream, and yeah, I can see that too. Anyways, the second boat is more of a speedboat design. It's all about having a big engine. There's not much interior at all, it's just a 2-seater. I went with a dark red, tan and white colour scheme. And I wanted to have a big, powerful engine, so I've reused part of the engine build from the Batmobile, so the Robert Pattinson one. It's a nice looking build, it has these cylinder pieces on top, it looks cool, and I wanted to be able to see this, and that's why I used trans clear covers. And you might actually recognise these, or maybe not, it's pretty obscure now. They're from my 2005 Arc 170 from Star Wars, one of those odd pieces you never think you'll find a use for. It has the dark red colour in there and the white, it looks great. I used a low curved windscreen, and a nice wee detail was the front upright wing, it gives a bit of finesse. It's simple enough as a build, and I got a cool dude with a Hawaiian shirt driving it. But next up, I'm really excited about this latest mock. This is my prototype Pan Am seaplane, and the single engine cockpit piece is on a hinge, so it can open up to reveal a pilot, very important, so it can actually take off, of course. The other feature is the opening hold area. It opens very easily, and at the moment nothing is in there, but eventually I will give this a proper interior, seating and a space for luggage will be included. On the exterior, I haven't added the logos yet, but it will say Pan Am along the side, or well, Pan American Airlines like it used to, the old-fashioned lettering. I really like the look of this, the black underside, I think it looks really nice. I haven't given it proper pontoons yet, but I will. It just has landing skis for now. I will eventually add logos to the rear fins and on the wings and the fuselage. This did take a while to get right, kind of looking like it did in my head. I wanted to have a twin boom design and a single engine, and it looks odd not having 3 propellers, so it doesn't really look like any kind of real life aircraft, but that's the point, it's unique, it's an original LEGO build. I looked at a load of images of seaplanes to float planes and old Pan Am Airlines. And I guess it's not really a flying boat or a seaplane like this Sutherland or like a Catalina. I looked for single engine designs too, and I came across this German Junkers 52 there was a float plane version. It's 3 engines, so it's a bit like this. I took our inspiration actually from all sorts, but this last photo has stuck with me. In the old days, without basic passport controls or security, flying boats just floating next to a jetty. And funny enough, there were actual seaplanes that flew from Dundee, where we live now, all the way to South Africa. So I've kind of created my own version of this. There's some passengers queuing up with an airport guy on the radio and a technician as well. I've called this East Dock using the Jurassic Park printed piece with a wee seagull on top. There's fuel canisters as well. And the idea for just now, the plane will come alongside this for everyone to get on and off. I'll just grab the other bit. So I've got a wee scene here. My dad was a deep sea diver, so here he is in the harbour looking for treasure. I love this minifigure. And there's some ducks eating a wee bit of bread that's been chucked there by the guy fishing. And then there's a barrel with a Lego set on it, which will be going in the hold on the plane. Whoops, I better put this the right way. I don't want the harbour to be too busy, so the plane doesn't have to be here all the time. But this is the basic idea. It'll come alongside like this. So let's look at the wee scene. Oh, just to note, you can't see it very well, but there's actually a crocodile under the jetty. Those ducks better be careful. And here's Dad. I will swap that sign out for a Pan Am one eventually. I've got some passengers waiting to board. She's got a ticket in her hand. One thing to say though, it is a bit cramped. I think I'll come back to this again later on and enlarge it slightly. I'll do that when I redo the plane and put logos on it and an interior, as it isn't quite perfect. But for now, this area is done. Finally, I did something. I got something finished. The boats look better facing this way. There's activity on the jetties. The water is complete. We have a plane that can fly. We have some animals, plant life. Yep, it actually looks like I kind of imagined in my head. Thanks so much for watching. No updates on the cost this time, as I said. I'll do a bit on that next week. And speaking on next week, I'll be building a branch of the jewellery store Pandora. So tune in for that. It's a very cool looking build. And I'm also going to be adding some more details to the city, like plants and some walkways and curbs for the roads and all those kind of bits and bobs. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.